red and green. Didn't Stewart say he was just going to hang out in the back for a while?
I thought that's what I heard him say. He said he was going to try to run by himself for a little bit. Like Danica.
She had another idea.
Yeah,
she didn't give him any option, latching onto his bumper and going to the front quickly.
Oh, that's tight. Look out.
Okay, Danica did a good job right there. Saw how these cars were starting to jam up, got off of Tony's rear bumper, and allowed these cars to kind of separate.
Yeah, but watch how quickly they lose that front group there, those first four, as they stay attached.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still early in the race. You just don't want to get caught up in something this early in the race.
On the outside, the 77, Stewart 33.
Well, this is what we heard Tony say. He wanted to see what he could do with that.
Except for that 54 car, Kyle Busch. See, Austin Dillon in the 3 has paired up with Tony Stewart right now.
That we just saw with just one car being able to come through the middle of all this and nobody else get caught up.
6 cars in the top line there. We'll go 3-wide right now. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming.
That look from our nation.
Something that you feel in that situation just wasn't quite there.
Back it down. Just back it down. Stay straight. Nice and easy. Easy. Just keep easing up. Mount.
Travis Pastrana with the Ford EcoBoost. A shorter race by 50 miles. They had 41.
Yeah, I think we could set a record. Yeah, try to get to that today. And that's just the ones at the start-finish line. That's not counting all the passing we saw in the corners and down the back straightaway.
And after 7 laps of green flag racing today, we've had 3 different drivers lead 4 different times. Trade the lead 4 times. So first caution out, Danica Patrick taking the lead in the tri-oval, and then the spin behind her. And we wait to see. That's what we wait to see if anybody's going to pit.
Dang it.
One stay in forward gear, vibrates so much.
That's not good. You know, they have rev limiters to try to minimize those over revs if you miss a start a shift, but what it'll do is the momentum of the engine.
In this series, always so good in the drafting game, and he's steaming toward the front.
Trevor Bayne kind of bailed out on him right there. They could have taken the lead.
That's a little surprising that Trevor would do that there without somebody. I mean, I know Tony Stewart is right there to get on his bumper, but he had a good situation to where he could have driven up there. 3 cars trying to work together doesn't work that well with this configuration.
22, the Sprint Cup champ, Brad Keselowski comes into the picture, white and black machine.
I don't know about that move, but yeah.
She's kind of having a hard time finding somebody to
Looks like Tony Stewart may have decided to bail out of a little bit of this. 7 car, top 5 now. And after some things we saw from our Florida DOT alert today alive to Dave.
Here's what he saw, Alan. As soon as they threw the master switch to start the electrical smoke at the front of the car there, you can see Joe was just getting in the car and getting ready. So they immediately turned the car off again. I asked the crew if anything does not.
So far, so good for Joe.
Lead change. Brian Vickers shuffled back in the Gibbs rotation. And Elliott dropped toward the back earlier, heard about the car jumping out of gear, and there's a little diagnosis going on from behind the wheel.
Okay, massive hose you guys put in here today, we got to get it out of here. That's what knocks it out of gear. You got this big 3-inch hose crammed underneath the shifter, and you can hardly get it in forward gear, and it knocks it out of gear. We got to get that out of here. So whatever you need for me to get it yanked out of here, that's what we need to do the next caution.
So Matt Kenseth talking to Matt Lucas, the crew chief, and Vince has an update on that story.
Well, and Matt Kenseth took care of it. He didn't have to worry about coming into the pits. He was actually the one that ripped that hose out from underneath that gear shift area. Talked to the interior guy here on this 18 car. He says it's a hose designed to blow cool air down into the feet area.
Back.
I didn't even push water.
Back live at Daytona, caution flag is out. 2 separate things going on. A spin off of turn 4 for Regan Smith. He's gotten away. Danica Patrick has turned into the garage. No power in this 34 car. from the GameStop onboard, Matt Kenseth, after we saw him rip that hose out that was getting in the way of keeping the car in fourth gear. Black car. That's Reed Sorensen in the 40.
As they were with Kyle out front, and I think Kyle Busch does as good a job of pushing, so it makes me wonder, is it that car down a little bit on the horsepower?
For the lead, 31, Justin Allgaier, pushed by 43, Michael Annett. To the outside of the Sprint Cup drivers, Kenseth and Busch. The 6th and 5th place finishers in the Nationwide Championship last season, both hoping to be the first place finisher 10 months from now down in South Florida.
DJ, as crazy as the pack has been, Tony realizes that not only taking care of his fenders, but taking care of his radiator and the cooling in his car is pretty important. Listen.
Not very many of them are going to have water left at the end of the day.
15 laps ago, guys, and he's been just hanging back here, just riding. He says, we've got a really good hot rod.
Outside temperature up to 84 degrees, Dave, on a Saturday in February in Daytona Beach, Florida. As you look back at Travis Pastrana, now look ahead from Pastrana to Tony Stewart. Now this, for Pastrana, he talked about just getting out there, logging laps, getting all the experience in the draft he could, and then seeing what happened at the end.
Yeah, you see Tony Stewart and all these children's cars, they're not going to be back there at the end. They're going to be doing this tandem racing, coming up through the middle. And then when that happens, Pastrana's going to have to figure out something pretty quick.
Travis right now running in 34th place, Jamie.
Well, it takes a lot to make Travis Pastrana nervous, but he actually used that word in talking about the draft. And in practice, he ran with Trevor Bayne, as you guys talked about, but he was the one being pushed the whole time. He never once pushed another car, and that's a reason you see him keeping his distance. He's not sure. He's a little nervous to get up there and actually make contact with another car.
Got plenty of racing left to go today.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing to be nervous of. This type of race will make the very best out there nervous at times, I will assure you. So he is doing probably the right thing, just getting a better feel, and he want to get to the end to see what kind of things happen.
Almost to halfway today in the drive for COPD 300 at Daytona. Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch are the top two. It's a full day of NBA action tomorrow on ABC and ESPN. At 1 on ABC, Kobe and the Lakers look to get back into the playoff race when they face Dirk and the Mavs. Then at 7 on ESPN, the Zach Randolph and the Memphis Grizzlies head into Brooklyn to take on the Nets. And at 9:30, Kevin Durant and the Thunder host the Bulls. It's NBA Sunday on ABC.
I don't know how much more my neck and head can stand. I just stand here shaking my head. They can't keep doing this, but they do it lap after lap. Just incredible racing.
In the Nationwide Series. So when he's coming down pit road here, he sees to his left-hand side the 32 pit board. Well, it's the exact same color as his, and he realized at that point he had already missed his pit box. So he kept on cruising.
They tag team together for almost the whole distance today.
It's always interesting to me that
Alan, as you pointed out, you have to be impressed with what Kyle Larson's done here today. Limited amount of experience. Ran the ARCA race here just a week ago. But when drivers have talent,
making a run to the outside. While they do that, one of the favorites toward the front of the field for a lot of this race is behind the wall. Vince?
He was indeed fast. Kurt Busch, the winner here in July, but not today. What happened in that accident?
Just some guys from the outside lane came across us. I haven't seen a replay, but it was fun while it lasted. The roofing guys jumped on board to sponsor Finch, and it's just neat to see a program like this still pushing hard and trying, and I gave it my best effort. So this came up short, wrong place at the wrong time, and it was a good run for our Chevy Camaro. The guys put a lot of time into that car in the wind tunnel, and they called me January about 5th or 6th and said, hey, we got a good piece in the wind tunnel, come and race for us. So I said, heck yeah, if it's that good, let's do it.
Thanks, Kurt. Alan?
So Kurt Busch out of it today after being swept up into the third caution just a little while ago off turn 4. Regan Smith, winner of the season finale last year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. In the series full-time this year to run for the championship, driving Junior Motorsports number 7 Chevy Camaro. He's out in front here at Daytona in the season opener. Back live, looking ahead later on today, qualifying for the NHRA Arizona Nationals. Late night tonight on ESPN2. The final eliminations are tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. The NHRA Arizona Nationals. Next weekend, it is Arizona for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, race 2 of the season. Jimmy Johnson in the field at Phoenix International Raceway. Our coverage presented by Kawasaki next Saturday, 4 Eastern Time on ESPN2. $80 laps in the books, 200 miles at Daytona in the NASCAR Nationwide Series season opener. Regan Smith in the 7th has the race lead, one of 15 different drivers who've been out in front, swapping the lead 20 times during the day. We've had just 3 cautions in the race for 13 laps. There are 28 cars on the lead lap. And while there have been some drivers who've led a little more than others today, look at this drafting. It's anybody's guess who's going to win. '7, Smith. 54, Kyle Busch. 99, Alex Bowman, the 19-year-old, drafted up into 3rd place.
He's got drafting help from Parker Kligerman in that Kyle Busch Motorsports entry. These guys want to lead.
That yellow car is Brian Vickers, just coming off the pit lane from a green flag stop. One of the championship hopefuls for this season. And he's in a little bit of trouble here, Jamie.
Alan, he came in and said there was smoke inside the car. He brought it in and said, my oil temp is pegged. But as soon as he came into the pit box and they lifted the hood, he said all the temps were going down. So they didn't do anything to it. They're going to keep their eye on it as he's back out on track.
All right, Jamie, thanks. So Brian Vickers right now is in 33rd place, showing 2 laps down to the race leaders.
That 6-car, Trevor Bayne, he was hooked up really tight with Brad Keselowski. They made a big charge to the front. Looked like they were going to take the lead, and they got separated. They were able to stay up there, but they weren't able to get the lead.
Trevor Bayne started on the pole today for this race, but never led a lap. I mentioned 15 different drivers leading today. Somebody else that hasn't paced the race yet gets out in front will equal the track record. '74 Mike Harmon being put a lap down by the leaders. He had a long stay on pit road under the last caution. He had raced his way up into the top 10 earlier in the race.
I expected Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth to get back together and start doing what they were doing earlier in the race, but it looks like Kyle's pretty content to stay on the rear bumper of Regan Smith.
Yeah, and Kenseth is back there now with Elliott Sadler's son, but I just noticed as they were drafting a minute ago, looked like a little bit of water coming out of that 18 car, Matt Kenseth.
Weren't with us earlier. Yep, weren't with us earlier on a restart. Back at lap 13, Kenseth's car jumped out of 4th gear, over-revved the engine. Matt was concerned whether or not it was going to live. He spent quite a bit of time running 1st or 2nd since then. Now shuffled back a little bit after the pit stops and the restart shuffle. Eric McClure, 14, Junior 88, Kenseth 18. Johanna Long in the 70. Oh, trouble smoke. Engine on the 6 car, possibly.
Definitely a problem with Trevor Bayne.
Clear low. Hang on, just hold your line. Just stay right where you are.
And
right
the caution is out again.
Be good right here, and the next one right here. Be good to the bottom.
Now I'm going to drive staff, dead 1.
All right, engine's still running.
Engine's still running fine, but I got nothing when I put it in gear and it beats around. I think it's the drive staff.
We've seen this problem before with this car. I believe it was at Charlotte last year. We saw that the 6 car, then it was Ricky Stenhouse driving, had a problem with the drive shaft.
And that could have been big because he was in the middle of that pack.
Yeah, I see pieces falling out of the back of the car. So
Outside, 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 outside.